Catch us if you can.
A speedy welcome to the show for everyone. This is Speedy Talk on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM, and I'm your host today on the show. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior, and Speedy Talk is a program for the youth where we talk about things that concern and affects the youth. Now, today's conversation is one of that almost everybody has an opinion on, especially when older and younger generations sit down to talk, because let's be honest, the way many young people view marriage today is very different from how marriage was viewed before. Back then, marriage was often seen as a major life responsibility. Roles were more defined, expectations were clearer, and many people entered marriage with the mindset of commitment, endurance, sacrifice, and even building together. But today, many people believe things have changed completely, which brings us to our focus today on Speedy Talk. We are looking at Gen Z view of marriage. Now, people talk about peace of mind, before endurance, compatibility, before pressure, financial stability, even before commitment, emotional intelligence, soft life, independence, equality in responsibilities. You hear the 50-50 talk, protecting personal happiness first. And because of all these changes, many people now feel marriage has become something entirely different from what it used to be. Some people say marriage today feels more transactional than emotional. Like, is the money there? And some of those things, is the status there? Others believe young people are simply becoming wiser and then refusing to repeat unhealthy patterns they saw growing up. Some say that the generation asks too many questions about marriage. Others say asking questions is exactly what should happen before entering such a serious commitment. And even with the expectations between men and women seem to keep changing. Conversations around roles, responsibilities, finances, submission, provision, independence, and partnership are now very different from before. And honestly, many people are confused. Is marriage just evolving, or is this generation changing the meaning of marriage too much? So today on Speedy Talk, that is what we are talking about. Gen Z view of marriage. Has this generation changed the meaning of marriage too much? And also for the older generation listening, what is one thing that you think maybe the young people need to understand when it comes to marriage today? You can call in to be part of this conversation, and the number for you to call is 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Call in and let us hear from you this afternoon on Speedy Talk on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior with you on the show this afternoon, and we are talking about Gen Z view of marriage. Has this generation changed the meaning of marriage too much from the way that you see it, from all the things that you see, going on today when it has to do with marriage, and then younger people? What would you say have changed? What are some things that you say, okay, this one was not even there, it was not like this before, and then all of a sudden this is what it's about? It has become transactional. It has become where even roles or some of those responsibilities that were just put in place, this is how it should be. Some of those things has changed. So call in and let us hear from you. It's 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. We are talking about Gen Z view of marriage this afternoon on Speedy Talk. So call in and let us hear from you. Has this generation changed the meaning of marriage? When it comes to marriage, how it was before, what people knew it as. Has it changed too much? Or is that actually the way that things should actually be? Like, things are supposed to change. People say that, okay, times will change, things will change. But do you think that, okay, when it comes to marriage, like, it has gone way too much, and then the meaning is actually shifting today? Whatever you think, you can call in and share with us. Now, one thing many people agree on is that young people today approach marriage more cautiously than before. Some say it is because this generation, Some say it is because this generation has seen too many broken homes, unhappy marriages, unhealthy relationships, and even silent suffering. That is why the approach is different. But then if we talk about their broken homes, there have been divorces, that is why they are trying to maybe approach it in a different way. It even seems like, okay, it's in this time that there is more of those conflicts, arising in those marriages, in as much as they are saying, okay, well, we are looking at it this way because we don't want to repeat some of those things that happened. We don't want to repeat some of the things that happened with our parents, some of the things that our parents did, some of the things that they did wrongly, or some of the things that maybe they were just enduring, because I don't want to end up in that failed marriage. I don't want to end up in that divorce. But then if you compare now to then, you see that, okay, the divorce that people would say, okay, this is what is happening, or this is why we are choosing this way to avoid, is happening now more than before. So you also can call in to be part of this conversation, and the number for you to call is 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. We are talking about Gen Z view of marriage today on Speedy Talk, and we are asking, like, why has this generation actually changed the meaning of marriage too much? Let us hear what you think. Let us hear from your experience, or let us hear from even the young minds as well. What do you think about, Gen Z's view of marriage, this generation's view of marriage? Has it actually changed? That meaning, the real meaning that people will refer to, okay, this is marriage. Has it actually changed too much? Or is it like, that is just part of life? That is how things are supposed to evolve, and then there is nothing. Do you see maybe negatives or maybe positive sides to it? Things that you think that would actually maybe arise from these changes that keep going on and on when it comes to marriage? How it used to be viewed before, how responsibilities were more defined before, how now people question everything, how modern marriages rules actually changes, the 50-50 conversations, the financial expectations, emotional expectations, even independence, social media influence. I mean, there are a lot of things when you start mentioning these things, even the soft life mindset, the fear of suffering, delayed marriage. Some people even these days, how it just looked like, okay, well, that marriage is something that everyone has to come to at a point in life. These days is more like, me, I'm not even interested. I don't want to follow this path. Like, I don't want to even be part of the people that I even getting married. There are so many opinions, people have different opinions. Even the ones that are there, the ones that are open to the marriage, we have come with different opinions. This is Speedy Talk on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. and I'm your host on the show this afternoon. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior, and we are talking about Gen Z view of marriage. You also can call in to be part of this conversation, and the number for you to call is 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Has this generation changed the meaning of marriage too much from what you have seen? Do you think that is going, too much to the point where it's possible that maybe some meanings would actually be lost? Or is it just the the normal occurrence, like something that is supposed to happen and it's going to happen, no matter what we do? Or is there something that people are supposed to know? Maybe even when it comes to the young people, is there something that we keep missing out, that people are supposed to know when it has to do with marriage, that people are missing and then not maybe paying attention to? Number for you to call is 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Call in and let us hear from you. Has this generation changed the meaning of marriage too much? Has this generation turned marriage into something else that you yourself, from whatever eyes you're looking at it from, like that was not the usual way that it was, and then something has definitely changed? Let us hear what you think. Let us hear what you think is actually changing, because if you think that something is changing, then what is that thing that is changing? Would you say it's the mindset? Would you say it's maybe copying some things from elsewhere and then applying it to our own? Or would you say, okay, it's just the normal life? Because there are some things or some circumstances where people will tell you that this one was supposed to happen anyway, because in life, that change is going to happen, and then it's just one aspect of life, that it's also supposed to be touched as well. Marriage is now seen as transactional. Nobody wants that responsibility anymore. And the questions that people ask these days before even getting into it were not the concerns of, when it comes to our parents. Those were not the concerns. Maybe they'll be looking at other situations. But now the first questions maybe people even ask: is he okay when it comes to the money? Is she okay when it comes to this? Like, is it possible? Would you be willing to go 50-50 with me? Would you be willing to do something like this? There is always something, that are those things that are slowly included. Everybody wants the soft life, men and women changing even those traditional roles. Hello? All right, you can still call back to be part of this conversation, and the number for you to call is 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. We are talking about Gen Z view of marriage. So call in and let us hear what you think. And you can also join in live on Facebook at Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. Hello? Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Dehide Onduso.
Okay, and where have you called us from?
I'm calling from Gadovila.
All right, welcome to the show, Dehide Onduso. Go on.
Hello?
Yes, go on. We're talking about Gen Z view of marriage.
Hello?
All right, you can still call us back to be part of this conversation, and the number for you to call is 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Has this generation turned marriage maybe changed it too much, changed some of the things that were there too much? What are those things that you say that has actually changed? And do you think that is actually for the good, or it's for the bad, or it will become something maybe that the meaning will completely be lost, to the point where maybe even the name can actually change someday? Call in and let us hear from you. It's 08084 asking. That's 0808 427 5464. We're talking about Gen Z view of marriage. And then when we bring the subject of even independence that people try to bring up, it was something that was seen as, okay, if people are a married couple, then we are together, we are doing something. But these days, even in that marriage, everybody wants independence in the marriage. Like we are inside this marriage, and then I still don't want to be dependent when it comes to, or I still want to be doing my own, and then you be doing your own. So what is now that meaning? Why are two people together if everyone wants to do what they want to do, in that marriage? I want my own life this way, I want your own this way. You shouldn't be telling me, or people make give reasons like, okay, things have changed, times have changed. It shouldn't be a place where someone is actually caged from not doing what they want to do, simply because they are married. Number for you to call is 08084 for asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. We're talking about Gen Z view of marriage. Has this generation changed the meaning of marriage too much? Call in and let us hear what you think. You, as the older generation, what is one thing that you think that is actually missing when you look at it? Maybe not even missing, but that is slowly maybe getting even removed. Some things start like that. Slowly it's getting moved, and then before you know it, it's no longer there. Or one thing that people are even forgetting out. And even for the younger people, what is it that has actually changed when it comes to view of marriage, how it used to be back then, and then how it is actually going on these days? And then I was talking about that independence, and then also something else like, what am I gaining? That is the question. People will talk about, okay, questions are asked too much these days. Hello. People mention things like, okay, the questions these days are way too much. Like, what am I going to gain? Some people believe that many young people these days now approach marriage like, that negotiation or transaction. Like, okay, what am I gaining? What are you bringing? Everyone is all about what the other person is bringing or what benefits me. Others say that even social media has changed people's expectations of marriages. People now compare those online luxury lifestyles, or even sometimes expect marriage to constantly feel that exciting, feel soft or perfect, and when it is no longer that way. And you know how they used to say, okay, some things, especially when it has to do with things from your marriage, are supposed to maybe stay inside, and then it's things that you're supposed to protect. These days, when it comes to the younger generation, everything is on there. If we argue about this one, it's going online. If we are talking about this one right now, it's going online for the online community to actually know. It almost seems like everyone is looking for, okay, someone to say something. Hello?
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, this is Akundu Solomon. I'm calling from Nampa.
All right. Welcome to the show, Mr. Akundu Solomon.
Thank you.
Mm.
You said the issue of marriage these days, to me, let me say, it's a mindset.
Mm.
Something of marriage, you are not supposed to force yourself into it.
Mm.
It's willingly. When you are willingly, when you are willing, and you decide, you see that you are competent and capable of handling situations, and you think you can handle every situation, then you are go into marriage. Some people view it in a different perspective. Everybody view it in a different perspective.
Okay.
But to me, let me cite an example to myself. Like me, I went into marriage simply because I was alone and I needed a partner. I needed someone. Yeah, I needed someone by my side to, help me on other things. Since I doesn't have anybody. And really, it, by God's grace, it worked out for me. Yeah, my wife, it worked out for me. Yeah, my wife stood by my side. I went to school, I graduated, I came out, and now I got a job, and we are together, and I believe we are enjoying it by God's grace. But when you look at there are some ladies these days that said, I cannot suffer with someone. Yeah, let someone build a home before I will come in. Some will be out there saying, you doesn't have a car and you want to marry me. And most of them, they are telling, doesn't have a car.
Okay.
So why are you expecting someone out there to have a car before you marry him or her? It's not like this. So to me, I think marriage is just something that when you are willing, your mind, you know that your mind is strong to handle every situation, then you can go into it. You are good to go.
All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Thank you so much. Oh, all right. Thank you so much, Mr. Solomon Akunu, for calling in to be part of the show this afternoon. This is SPEEDy Talk on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM, and I'm your host on the show this afternoon. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior, and we are talking about Gen Z view of marriage. You also can call in to be part of this conversation, and the number for you to call is 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Call in and let us hear from you. Let us hear what you think. Has this generation changed the meaning of marriage, too much, or is this generation improving marriage by asking more questions, or are they slowly losing the original understanding of that commitment and even partnership? Call in and let us hear what you think. You as even the older person. Hello. All right, you can still call us back to be part of the show. It's 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. We are talking about Gen Z view of marriage. Let us hear what you think. Do you think young people today approach marriage differently, from the older generation? Some of those things, what are those changes that you see? And would you say that those changes would hurt, or is it ones that are just there for the better? And we heard from Solomon, who said marriage has to do with maybe you that is willing, and then you that has he mentioned of having that strong heart or having that strong mind. But if you check about it these days, it's more like nobody wants to be the strong heart, or nobody wants to actually have that strong mind and then go. The moment there is something, it's either I am leaving or I am calling everyone, or like, help me see, this is what my wife is doing, or help me see, this is what my husband is doing. And then he mentioned that he thinks these days people are all about nobody wants to suffer. And if you look at it from a human perspective, generally nobody actually wants to suffer. But then when you talk about this suffer, is it just about maybe the money sufferness, or when it comes to even other things, even when it comes to being there emotionally? Call in and let us hear from you. It's 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Call in and let us hear from you. What is your take? We are talking about Gen Z view of marriage. Has this generation changed the meaning of marriage too much? Or do you think that, okay, and if that is a change, what is actually the change? If you think that it has changed, what is the change? And then is that for the good? Is it for the bad? How do you actually see it going from now and then the way that it was before? Let us hear what you think. Are these questions, or maybe these new suggestions, new takes that have been brought on? We have to do it transactional. It has to be like this. We have to settle the matter in front of everyone. We have to settle it on social media. We have to do this about, there are different things these days that are being involved. The things that were now private, they were private even back then. These days, it's all there online for the online families, and both people that know and don't know to actually argue or settle about, or even the things that were considered, well, it's just a normal thing. Two of us are supposed to strive. We are supposed to do our best. These days, like, we want to share it. This is what is going to happen. We are going to share this one 50-50. We are going to do this one 50-50. So you better know it before we get into the marriage. Is this generation improving marriage by asking more questions, or are they slowly losing the understanding and then commitments and of commitment and then partnership? Number for you to call is 08084 for asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Call in and let us hear from you. Let us hear what you have to say. And people now compare to online admire those luxury lifestyles, and sometimes expect it to constantly feel exciting or to look like what we are seeing, what people are posting. And we tend to forget about the fact that it's not what everyone is actually posting that is maybe even their reality, but people still want theirs to look like that. You see some things and then people already comment like, this is what I want mine to be, without even knowing what is actually happening there, or just make assumptions like, this is what these people do with their own, and so this is what I am also going to do. And at the same time, traditional expectations are also being questioned more than before. Many young people no longer automatically accept old ideas about maybe even gender roles, even sacrifice or endurance without discussion. So the debate becomes, is this generation improving marriage by asking those questions, or are they slowly losing the original understanding, the real meaning, of what it used to be? Now you can still call in and be part of this conversation. It's 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. This is SPEEDy Talk on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM, and I'm your host on the show. My name is Marysyntia. Hello.
Good day, presenter.
Yes, good day to you too, sir. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is St. Emmanuel calling from International Market.
All right, welcome to the show, St. Emmanuel.
Yes. Marriage is a noble institution instituted by God, and it has its own purpose. They say that if purpose is not known, abuse becomes inevitable. So Gen Z cannot have their own kind of marriage, because marriage is one. If you must get married, you must ask the one who instituted marriage and follow the right way. Of course, it's true that people are doing whatever they want these days, and so doing, they are losing the very purpose of marriage. So marriage is for two. It's between a man and a woman, and I say for better, for worse.
All right, thank you so much for calling in to be part of the show this afternoon, Saint Emmanuel. This is SPEEDy Talk on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM, and my name is Marysyntia Hangeior with you on the show this afternoon. You also can call in to be part of this conversation. Number for you to call is 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Call in and let us hear what you think. We are talking about Gen Z view of marriage, how it has actually changed. Like, has the real meaning actually been evident, or is this slowly, leaving the picture and then it's becoming something else? Let us hear what you think. And we heard from Saint Emmanuel, who says that even though things are changing, times are changing, he believes that even the younger generation has to follow that due process, because it was there before they came, and then it's not something that should just be changed simply because everybody now wants to do what they want. Some of those things that were held sacred, some of those things that were actually talked about, some of those things that were between even the partners, these days it's all outside. And then most of the things that was the normal to do, it's now become abnormal, or it will be looked at as maybe somebody suffering, maybe someone that is deciding to do this for their home, or do this for their husband, or a husband that is decided to do this for their wife, has become like, this person is suffering, or this person is maltreating the other person. There are different things, different ways, different views that have come up in society these days when it comes to marriage, especially with this generation. So you can still call in quickly before we go, and it's 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Let us hear what you think. We are talking about Gen Z view of marriage. That marriage these days that has become negotiation instead of partnership. People want enjoyment without sacrifice. Everybody is protecting themselves first, or men are avoiding the commitment. Women are changing traditional roles. Everybody wants stuff like everybody now enter, for the benefit. We have to discuss what is in for me, what is not in for me, what I will be doing. Different things that were not even questionable back then, that has now been changing. You can still call in and let us hear from you. It's 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. And now marriage is one of those things that society constantly redefines, with time, experience, culture, and then changing realities. Every generation approaches this because every generation faces, pressures, expectations, and then experiences. But while times may change, many people still believe certain things remain important. That understanding, that commitment, that communication, patience, respect, and even partnership. Now, those are some of the things that are being tempered with, that are being touched today, or more like being even pushed aside. That people are no longer actually sticking to, and then they come up with maybe different names or different meanings to actually name some of the behavior or different patterns that are being introduced when it comes to marriage these days. And at the same time, younger generations are also asking difficult questions about happiness, about compatibility, about emotional health and balance, questions many people before have not openly discussed. So perhaps the real issue is not whether it has changed, because change is inevitable, but then the real question is whether today's generation is improving the idea of that marriage, with the change that is coming. Are we actually improving it, or are there things that people should actually know? So that is it for Speedy Talk today. Speedy Talk is a program for the youth who will talk about things that concern and affect the youth, and I'll be your host on the show this afternoon. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior, and we have been talking about Gen Z view of marriage. Coming up next at 3:55 p.m. if today is your birthday, then Speedy Kids are going to be wishing you a happy birthday. And also up next at 4 p.m. the Speed link comes on right here on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM, and we have also been streaming live on Facebook at Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And then we have this comment from Tezunge Fang Emote. He says, good afternoon, Marysyntia. For me, it depends on how people's cooperation in their marriage. As you can see at this Gen Z marriage, they have many things affecting them. Such things like manners, attitude, on trust, endurance, disappointment, respect. All these make partners wake to their marriages. And he is streaming live in Koi, Lagos. That is where he watched from. And Speedy Talk will come to your ears, and stay tuned and keep listening to Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. Coming up next at 3:55 p.m. like I mentioned, if today is your birthday, then Speedy Kids will be wishing you a happy birthday. And at 4 p.m. the Speed link comes on. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior, and I've been with you on Speedy Talk this afternoon. Keep enjoying music of your life.
Hello, my Cootie. Asking Radio is